Mr. President, I have the A3 amendment.
Secretary will report the A3 HAR amendment.
Senator Herr moves to amend House File Number 2852 as amended pursuant to Rule 45 adopted by the Senate May 7th, 2014 as follows, and this is the A3 amendment.
Mr. President, the A3 amendment is agreed upon by both the DNR and the stakeholder, including wolf advocates. This amendment will ask for the DNR to develop a list that update quarterly on all known wolf deaths as reported by a conservation officer. And that information will be posted on the DNR website. In addition to information put on the DNR website, there will be an annual wolf survey on an estimated wolf population that will be posted before the hunting season for the next 3 years. And on this amendment also include a double the amount of penalty on anyone who has prior conviction on take of wolves, and if they get caught again, the penalty would be doubled. So I ask members to support this amendment, and I hope the author will see it as a friendly amendment.
Further discussion under her A3 amendment. Senator Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just briefly say that Senator Herr has described this process accurately, that to my knowledge this is reflective of a compromise agreement between DNR and a number of stakeholders. This language was adopted in the House, and I do believe that it is a good middle step here moving forward, given the amount of scrutiny and interest in this issue.
Senator Osmek on the A3 amendment. Yep. Senator Osmek.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will Senator Herr yield for a question?
Senator Herr will yield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Regarding the Section 61 provisions on the doubling of the fine, are there any other species that we inflict the same punishment on if they do an illegal taking? On deer, antelope, rabbits, raccoons? Or is this a precedent-setting amendment?
Senator Herr.
Senator Osmek and Mr. President, I don't know the answer on that, but this amendment is basically focused on wolf management.
Senator Osmek.
Well, Mr. President, to Senator Herr, I got a very, very large problem if we're not treating all other takings the same way as we're treating wolves. I don't think we should be, and I think somebody's going to be whispering in your ear here. Now, if we're doing the same to other animals and other species that we manage in Minnesota, I don't necessarily have a problem with this, but I'd like to, maybe you have new information for me, Senator Herr, if you could answer the question.
Senator Herr.
Yes, Mr. Osmek, and I just learned that it won't be a precedent on other, that this provision.
Senator Osmek.
So we do inflict additional penalties on other species if they are illegally taken.
That's correct.
Thank you, Senator Herr.
Mr. President.
Senator Ingebretson, were you up first? Senator Tomassoni.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will Senator Herr yield for the question?
Senator Herr will yield. Senator Tomassoni.
Senator Herr, I think line 1.15, clause C, results in a fiscal note on this particular bill, and I think that while the DNR is already doing it for 2014, they would need more money for 2015 and 2016, and I think you may want to delete clause C in this just to make sure that there's no fiscal note.
Thank you, Senator Tomassoni. I've been going back and forth on this section, you know, and I do have a letter here stated the DNR will be conducting the annual wolf survey and estimated population.
Mr. President, Senator Herr, the letter's fine, but the legislation causes a fiscal note, and so I think you should remove clause C on this.
Senator Thomas, would you yield for answer?
Yes.
Okay. Would you see this as an amendment to remove?
Well, Mr. President, you could either incorporate it in yours or I'll move to remove Clause C, whichever you want, but however you feel is the best way to do it.
I would entertain your amendment,
Okay,
Mr. Thomas.
Then, Mr. President, I would move to delete Clause C starting on line 1.15.
Discussion on the Thomasoni. Secretary will report the amendment.
Senator Thomasoni moves to amend the her amendment on page 1, delete lines 15 to 18.
And
Senator Thomasoni.
are you accepting it?
Senator
Mr. Chair, I accept Senator Thomasoni's amendment as a friendly amendment.
all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion prevailed. Senator Osmond.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd also like to offer an oral amendment, delete section 61.
Secretary will report the Osmic amendment to delete section 61.
Senator Osmic moves to amend the her amendment on page 1, delete lines 20 through 24.
Senator Osmic.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was speaking with nonpartisan staff. This is precedent setting. The restitution is indicated in here for a violation. It's not a penalty for a violation of a taking. This is the first time that we will have a species that will have the word restitution involved with any kind of a penalty. This is the wrong place to start this. This should have been in committee if we were going to do it. But more importantly, if we're going to start down this path, this is the first species that we're going to be involving this, and I would request a roll call vote.
You might not need one. You never know. Senator Herr, do you wish to comment on the removal of section 61, the double penalty provision?
Mr. Chair, this is a very simple amendment, and I prefer not to have any more of my provision be taken out from the amendment. And so I ask member to vote against the oral amendment presented by Senator Osmond.
Secretary will take the roll. Senator Ingebretson on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. And members and Senator, there are restitution values on different species throughout the state of Minnesota, but when we do that, that takes an awful lot of input and a lot of conversation that goes on in the committee process. And I guess my feeling is that and I don't think it was dealt with at the committee process. We just got done talking about muskies, and the taking of a muskie is the restitution is very expensive if you get caught taking one of them, as well as you do an elk or other special species. So doubling the restitution is something that really should take a lot of committee action and a lot of input from different folks. And I would vote for the Osmic amendment to not allow that.
We're on the Osmic amendment. Senator Thomasoni on this issue.
Mr. President, well, I think Senator Osmic's right on this probably being new, but I do believe it's okay, and I think it's been accepted in the body that I'm not supposed to refer to. And so I'm just going to say I think it's okay, and it's okay to keep it in the bill.
Secretary will take the roll on the Osmond A6 to delete section 61. Be a roll call. Secretary will close the roll. There will be 33 ayes and 30 nays. The amendment is adopted. Senator, further discussion on file 2852. Senator Ingebretson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would Senator Herr yield for a question, please?
Senator Herr will yield.
Thank
Senator
you.
Ingebretson.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Senator, the question I have is the reporting that's in your amendment here. And I'm wondering, how are we going to do this? How is the DNR going to be doing this survey? And are the hunters' privacy rights going to be protected? Is this going to have the location of death, the hunt site? And is it going to be a big game check? How are we going to go about doing it? And you and I had a conversation earlier today with regards to the wolf management plan that the DNR has worked years ago to put together before the animal came off the endangered species list. And I'm wondering if we're moving ahead with this report, why we're doing this report just in general, and just go through the workings of it, if you will, for the body, and I would appreciate that.
Senator.
Senator Ingebrigtsen, appreciate your question. And basically, the known wolf death that will be listed on the website mainly are based on reports from conservation officer, or mainly from conservation officer. And I know you did mention a little bit about the wolf management plan. I checked it online, and it's dated back 2001, and so it's better to get stronger emphasis and update some information here. And I think this provision is important to be included in this game and fish bill. Thank you for the question. I also like to take this opportunity to thank Senator Tomassoni for advocating for the section that just got deleted, that he sees this amendment, the full amendment, as clearly as I do. But I, sorry that we couldn't get the section, the bottom section of restitution passed, and I appreciate his advocacy. Thank you.